From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
And it is me, and we're back today. And look who we have on the show. It's Flying Rich. Flying Rich has been out under the weather, and now he is back. How are you doing?
Well, it's toughing through it. I got hit with the SHOT Show crud, like many people do.
And look who it is. It's my sister.
Uh-huh. Is she the one that knows everybody?
Yeah, she knows everyone. But okay, let's jump into everything. Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about concealed carry insurance, particularly one from Right to Bear. Right to Bear is associated with Palmetto State Armory, owned by the same people. And for that, we have Trevon. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. How's South Carolina? How was SHOT?
Shot was good. Shot was tiring, but it was a good show. Met a lot of cool people, and met you guys. So this is how we're here.
Yeah, it was really fun. I've known Perry for a while. It was the first time I got to talk to you. I didn't really get to talk to you too much, but a little bit.
Busy show.
Yeah, so you're working with Right to Bear. Tell everyone what Right to Bear is.
So Right to Bear is legal defense for any form of self-defense. So if you're in any sort of self-defense situation, whether you're using a handgun, a knife, your niece or daughter or whoever is getting carjacked, we want you to run them over. If you need to use a bag of avocados to defend yourself, which is a real case we had.
You had a
bag of
Was it assault and battery with a lethal weapon?
Yeah, he got charged with I believe it was assault and battery with a weapon. We defended that individual and won that case. So any form of legal self-defense, we are here to cover you if you have charges brought against you for whatever the case may be.
So it's just not guns. It could be knives, avocados.
Any form of or any weapon of opportunity. So hands.
So if a bunch of people are protesting deportation and you feel threatened and you run them over,
that might not work out too well.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. Rich is a trumper.
That's okay. We love them all.
Yeah. So you guys have been around for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I believe this is year 4.
Year 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it started out of PSA is your parent company, or JJE Capital or whatever.
So Frank and Perry are the president and vice president. So they started the company on their own, and then I don't recall how it went, but they either approached PSA or PSA approached them, and now we're under that JJE parent company brand.
Yeah, that's cool. That gives you a lot of power there.
Oh yeah, a lot of leverage.
So in the 4 years since you guys been around, how much growth have you guys seen?
We now have about 60,000 members in the past 4 years, and we're constantly growing. We've had some record months over the past few months, just with our name getting out there. And then what we offer is hands down the best legal coverage on the market for the best price. Nobody else matches our price. Nobody else matches the amount of coverage that we actually offer. So
what are the prices?
We are $17 a month, about $170 per year. And before you add on, if you want like bail bond coverage, or if you'd like 50 state coverage, things like that, then those are another what's up, Pup? Those are another $3 or $4 per month.
That brings me to the next question. You do
Mhm.
offer 50 state coverage, which
We
a
do.
lot of them do not.
Yep. So we do offer coverage for all 50 states. We simply can't sell in Washington State, New Jersey, or New York. However, if you live in the 47 other states and you happen to be visiting one of those other three and you need to use self-defense, we cover you in those states. Washington should be coming online to where we can actually sell in that state, hopefully in the next month or two, hopefully less. New York and New Jersey, those are just there. New York and New Jersey. So
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There's been a lot of fighting in this space, so I wanted to highlight some other companies that aren't
Mhm.
the two that are fighting.
well, we're appreciative. Yeah, we want to stay out of any fighting and just kind of take the high road and just show that we're offering some very good coverage at very good prices, and we stand by what we say.
Yeah. So you guys offer like extra for bill bonds and stuff like that. So whatever people want to get into, they can get basically like an a la carte type system where you get
Yep.
basic coverage and you can add what you think is important to you and what you don't think is important to you.
Now, is this a coverage? So I'm a pilot, and like there's different things they'll cover. Like if you have a legal issue, a consultation with an attorney. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's maybe not a great thing. Like,
Yeah.
Is there a dollar amount cap? How does that work?
As far as if you have to go to court, is there a cap on your coverage?
Yeah.
No, sir, not currently.
Wow, really?
There's no cap.
Okay.
There's no legal. We don't have a recoupment clause either. So if we lose the case and you end up going to jail or having a charge, we don't ask for our money back. Whereas
Okay. All right, because even car insurance, there's like, oh, you want 10K coverage on this, 20K coverage on that.
Yeah, let me before I put that in stone, I will check. But to my knowledge, there's a cap.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was just curious how that stuff worked.
Yeah, because the recoupment cost could be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
Very big.
Come out.
Your stuff is crooked back there.
Yeah, and it's bugging me. Yeah, but so the recruitment cost could be a big thing because there's certain ones out there that if you lose, you actually have to pay it back.
Yeah, those legal fees, especially if you have like so you get a ballistics expert in there, or you get a expert witness, or any of those sorts of folks. Some of these people are charging $2,000-$3,000 for their 20-30 minutes worth of their time to come on the stand. So
and I don't mean to, it sounds like a lot, but when you have somebody that flies in, gets a hotel, blah blah blah, I get it. There's some costs to a 20, 30 or 1 hour type thing. Yes, I get it.
Yep.
Are you familiar with our friend Matt Hoover, CRS Firearms?
His name sounds familiar, but I'm gonna
Auto
see.
key card case.
What's that?
Auto key card case.
I don't believe so.
He advertised a card with the picture of a lightning link on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they charge him with conspiracy to sell machine guns.
Okay.
And he's in jail right now.
Wow. Where was this?
Yeah, they charged him federally, but it was in the Middle District of Florida. So they're like, "Oh, you advertise something, and we think that shows people how to like do a lightning link. So therefore, we're charging you with trafficking machine guns."
So Matt, who's from Coloma, Wisconsin, who never left the state, hates flying, had to go to trial in Jacksonville, it was a crazy case from every standpoint.
That's crazy. But I don't know if we'd be the right coverage for him, since it wasn't
right.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't a handgun case or a self-defense case. It was just
yeah. But what he's saying is
case.
we know the cost of expert witnesses, and we know how it is. We got a question here. Is there a national security law section of you? No idea what that even means.
National security law section.
I was hoping that you would know.
If they can possibly rephrase the question, or what of
Yeah,
What
not
sort
really
of-
sure.
Yeah.
Brandon asks, if a customer has your coverage in a normal state and they have to defend themselves in one of the 3 states that block your coverage, does it still work? And you said there is 50 state coverage available.
Yep. So if
That's
you live
pretty
in a
amazing.
quote unquote normal state and you're in Washington, New York, and New Jersey, we'd still have legal coverage in that state for you.
Oh, this is a good question by Kurt House. Does it only cover the criminal case, or does it cover like civil cases in case they lose?
Yeah.
Like you win your criminal case, but the threshold on a civil case is a lot lower. So
Right.
what you see a lot of times is people, once you get off from self-defense, like the families or the people themselves, if they survive, come back and sue you civilly.
Yeah. So we do not offer it currently, and don't. I will say from my point of view that I don't believe we'll offer it in the future for one reason is that Perry and Frank and they hired others to look into any cases where somebody who got off, using got off loosely, right, but won their case, the criminal trial, and then went to court civilly, and the judge actually said you need to pay or do XYZ. They could not find a single case precedent where that was the case. So they said, well, there's no reason to basically charge our customers more for this coverage where we can't see where this coverage has ever been needed. So now if you go to trial for a criminal charge and you lose, yes, you will probably lose that civil case. But case precedence has said that if you win that criminal trial, the civil case, there's never been a precedence to where you actually get O.J. Simpson.
Well, O.J. Simpson just got, but that was a little bit different.
That's a little different.
That wasn't that. There's no way that could be argued as self-defense.
That was a Hail Mary case right there.
Yeah. Do you cover federal?
Federal?
Yeah. Like federal, like any type of like if you get charged federally something. I know self-defense is usually state-based.
Yeah. Any form of self-defense and you get brought up any sort of charges, we're covered.
Actually, I think I do have an affiliate link. Somebody was asking for an affiliate link for a discount, and I think I do.
If you don't have one, I'm your guy. So just hit me up offline and I'll get you one made up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. So yeah, I will get that for you guys. Just hold on. But yeah, federal. I don't think that that the really self-defense cases federal. I can't think of any.
No, I guess the only thing that I could think of is if you somehow got into a tussle with a federal agent or something of that case, or they kicked in the wrong door or something of that nature. I'm really not.
Which actually happens.
Sure. Oh yeah. We've been seeing a lot more cases, just social media wise, of people kicking in doors and no knock warrant sort of deals.
Yeah, well, there was a case where it just got dismissed where there was a no knock warrant on the wrong house.
Wrong house.
And so they sued over that, the people whose house they sued, and they lost.
They lost over the no knock warrant?
Yeah. They're like, oh, it was a mistake. Whoops.
Did they at least pay for the damage that I'm sure they caused?
No.
Sounds about right.
No, they totally got off. And I know a lot of people were upset about that because they're like, I do have an affiliate link. How about that? But yeah, so there was some people that were really upset about that because it didn't seem right. I mean, they damaged the house.
Mm-hmm.
They tore it up. They caused emotional distress, and nothing was done.
Oh, that's nuts.
There should be some sort of precedence in place at all agencies, local, federal, statewide, that if you make a mistake and you damage somebody else's belongings, just like regular citizens, if I hit your car, I have insurance to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, Live Life have apparently been following it because that's exactly what they ruled, that it was a reasonable mistake that they transposed the address.
Reasonable mistake.
Yeah, so like everything was put on the people.
So is it reasonable if you kick in my door at 3 o'clock with no knock and I shoot at whoever's coming through my door? That would be reasonable as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you would think.
Oof.
I got
Oh,
a question. Do you guys
sure.
cover red flag laws?
We do not. We do not currently. That's their red flag laws have a lot of red tape. From my understanding, I have very limited understanding. This is a Frank and Perry question for sure. But my limited understanding is there's so much red tape around those laws that it's a legal nightmare to try to cover.
Yeah. So this is one thing they actually held the 7-year-old at gunpoint.
He's been in
Oh.
therapy ever since. Yeah, that would. As a father of a 5-year-old, I don't know how I would be able to take that as a dad, not being able to help out my own kid.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
right.
oh, it was reasonable.
Yeah, it was reasonable.
No, it's not reasonable. I mean, that's like a crew demolishes a house and got the address wrong. It's like, oh well,
Sorry.
sorry. Have a nice day.
I actually saw a case like that. I was reading about a case where they built they demolished part of the house and they rebuilt it to be bigger and better. And the people were out of town, and
Shoot.
when they came back, it was like done. And the company was like, "Well, you owe us," and they're like, "No, we don't. What were you guys doing? You went to the wrong place." And there was the big lawsuit because they were trying to recoup their money. The business actually built it, so like we want to recoup it or we want to tear it down. And
Oh shoot.
And the court said can't do either one of those.
I mean, don't you think if you accidentally improved somebody else's property,
It's
maybe
mine.
you just take your lumps as opposed to the bad name you're gonna have, the bad press?
Yeah, but definitely an interesting case. There's lots of different cases out there. People sue for everything.
Yeah, it's kind of scary now. I work for Right to Bear and just kind of second nature look into different cases that go on in America, and like you can sue for anything at any time. It's kind
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it's funny in Florida here, like not far from me is Polk County, where Grady Judd is sheriff, and he's like, "Yeah, we shoot him a lot." It's like shoot him a whole bunch of times. I'm like that guy. I was like, "Oh, I wish he was my sheriff."
yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna still be able to stop the lawsuits that possibly come in from that. If somebody
Probably.
does take him at his word, but no, I definitely like a sheriff who's like, no, take care of yourself.
Yeah. How many cases have you guys defended?
I believe we are. Don't quote me, but I believe Perry just said we were like 27.
27 in 4 years, you say?
4 years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So luckily not hundreds, but still a healthy amount of cases that you get over just a few short years.
Yeah, we have a family friend that's being persecuted right now. Her husband was her ex-husband was threatening to kill her, whatnot, and her family, and so she got a gun to protect herself. She didn't get concealed carry insurance or any type of carry insurance or anything like that. Self-defense insurance. It's not really concealed carry; it's self-defense, right? You can use in your house.
Yep.
And her name is Latoya. He showed up after he called, said, "I'm coming over. I'm going to kill you." Blah blah blah. He actually texted her that, but said she didn't get the text. He showed up. There was a struggle. She shot him. Told him she shot him 4 times, and it was a 10-round handgun. And so she had 11 rounds, one in the chamber.
Yeah.
Because that there was like 7 rounds left in the gun, they're like, "Oh, she must have reloaded."
What?
So they're charging her. I mean, it's a really anti-gun prosecutor, right? And they're charging her for murder, and she spent like thousands and thousands of dollars already.
Yeah, on legal.
And that's the case. The woman has a young child, also.
Yeah,
correct?
young child. Yeah, so he was gonna come over and kill her and her family, and so he shot her, but she's being prosecuted. She is
Got him in her own home.
in the military and everything, but yeah, but she didn't have any type of insurance because it was just like, oh, it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to get one just in case because he's making these threats.
Right.
And she called the police, and they thought that it was obvious self-defense, but the police was like, okay. Then the prosecutor, which was a really anti-gun prosecutor, came back and charged her.
Yep. That's so I'm not a big fan of like fear sales, if that makes sense. But cases like that put things into perspective and reality for a lot of people. Of even though, like you said, the police officers themselves said, "Oh, that's clearly self-defense," but now you get a prosecutor who's possibly anti-gun and possibly ignorant on guns in general. All you have to do is look at the magazine and see that four rounds are missing. There's 4 empty holes on whatever gun she's using. But yeah, that sort of stuff is definitely one of the reasons why you're paying less than a Netflix account to be covered with Right to Bear.
Well, my thing in that whole situation was, I mean, if she was going to reload, would she reload a single round?
Right. What kind of idiot would just put 1 round in? You would reload the whole magazine,
and like not even go through the whole round, not even go through the whole thing.
Right,
and then reinsert it in the gun. That's
and put it back. But that's the whole reason why. Well, that's the whole entire evidence that it wasn't self-defense, but she reloaded because it actually had one. And I don't know if it's because they don't understand how guns work or what.
It just seems really, one, you have to have a hell of an agenda if you're a prosecutor and you're trying to hang your hat on that. That's disturbing. Okay, so what's the answer?
They asked if I'm a Gamecock or Tiger fan, and I just pointed at my hat.
It is. Which one is that?
That's Carolina. I went to USC. Yeah, my sister, my father, and my sister are both Clemson fans, and I went to Carolina. So
hey, don't say anything. What does that make him, Rich? I know Rich doesn't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
Tiger fan.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not a sports guy.
Clemson is Tigers. The Clemson Tigers.
Gotcha. My daughter went to Gainesville, and I had to tell her how football worked. Had to watch football games with her and tell her how football worked.
Yeah. So Rich is just nodding his head like, yeah, I know what you're talking.
No, I have no pride in that.
I was answering the question that popped on screen if I'm a Gamecock or Tiger fan.
So G23 wants to know, is this insurance based or is it attorney based? How does that work?
So we're not insurance. We are an association that provides you legal coverage. So we provide you with an attorney wherever you might be. Yeah. So we got away from being insurance based like some of our competitors, because technically you can't insure a crime. So if you're charged with, let's say, attempted murder for defending yourself in your own home, technically the way that it's written into some people's policies is they use it as a loophole. Well, we can't insure criminality or a crime. So now we can get out of that. So
shoot.
Right. And without being insurance, we also don't charge a deductible. So whatever you're paying monthly, or if you pay flat out a yearly rate, you're done. So if you ever get into any sort of situation, you pick up the phone and call our attorney answered hotline and not a answering service. You actually speak with an attorney immediately, so they can give you legal advice on the spot, and we can get a physical attorney to sit with you.
Okay. I wanted to bring up that because that's very important. Because if you speak to an attorney, you have attorney-client privilege. Yeah. Now, if a call center rep picks it up, there's no attorney-client privilege. Anything you say on that call can be used against you. But since you're talking to an attorney, you have the attorney-client privilege.
Yep. Very good. Yeah, that call to just a call center can be subpoenaed and used against you in court. Whereas ours,
shoot.
Yes, sir. Whereas ours, you're actually talking with a true attorney. So anything you say is privileged between you and that attorney.
Oh, wow.
That's why most of my friends are attorneys.
That's a good friend group to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's helped me out in the past, right, Rich?
Yep.
Is it
a local attorney, or do you guys fly one out from South Carolina? Or do you
So we have a team of attorneys all throughout the country, and then of course we have general counsel. Our main attorney is in Colorado. So we just had a case in Idaho. Actually, at SHOT Show, Perry got the phone call when he was boarding the plane that a young man had to defend himself in his home, got his door kicked in, and shot the guy who kicked in his door. Didn't kill him, but did injure him, and he was charged with attempted murder for shooting somebody who kicked in his own door.
It is what state in Colorado?
No, that was not Colorado. Our main attorney is in Colorado. Our lead
Oh.
counsel. This was in Idaho, I believe.
Really? Idaho, you think they'd have some common sense?
A gun-friendly state. So if I have an attorney already, we've covered that attorney. That's a new one for me. My initial thought is probably not covering that attorney. Now, if they like to be added to our attorney network, yes, the attorneys that we use are specific to 2A and knowing gun laws and how to.
Let me read the questions because we put this out on audio only too.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't want people to like, what the hell is he talking about?
What's he talking about?
D23, yeah. So if I have an attorney already, will you cover that attorney?
Gotcha. So my initial thought is probably not, but I will not put that in stone. It is a possibility. But we already have a network of attorneys throughout the country who specialize in self-defense cases, especially around gun self-defense cases. Even though you may like that attorney that you already have, our attorneys are probably pretty well versed, but I wouldn't put a no on it. That's a question that I'll write down and ask, and I can get back to you for sure.
Yeah.
Good question.
And a lot of people have been asking, like, who I have it through, and I've been kind of coy over the last couple of weeks because of everything going on. I didn't want to answer it because I was commentating on some other ones, but I will say I break the bear.
Hey.
Yeah.
To the right way to go.
Yeah. So, like, how does an attorney join your network?
That would go through Frank and Perry. They'd have a vetting process, just try to look at their track record, see where they're licensed, what cases have they covered, et cetera, et cetera. So if they do want to join the network, they can shoot. I'll give them my email. It's Trayvon.barber@protectwithbear, and Trayvon is TREVON .barber BARBER @protectwithbear.com. If you just shoot over their information, I'll get it to the right people.
Yeah. We have a abnormal number of attorneys that watch our show for some reason.
Well, that's good. It's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can always have more good attorneys on the team.
Yeah. So basically, you have the general counsel, which is located in Colorado, but then you have a network of local attorneys.
Yep. So like the guy in Idaho who defended himself, our attorney was at his, I believe it was his mother's home or his, don't quote me, it's either his mother's home or his wife's home. But they were within 8 hours of that incident.
Yeah, because that's good because those attorneys usually know a little bit more about the local climate than attorneys coming in from out of state.
Yep.
Yeah, because you can be sworn into another state.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes that's not usually the best thing to do.
Yeah, not always ideal.
But yeah, because just you want someone at least there, like even if there's another attorney that is coming in, you want someone to know exactly there. But you can you have different things. There's like bar reciprocity, for example.
Yep.
And then there's like pro hoc that they can be sworn in temporarily to represent you. Here. If I had an illegal quotation mark SBR and I use that to defend myself in my home, would right to bear defend both charges, or would you defend one charge, or because it's an illegal firearm, you won't? That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't.
So it's a good question. We would defend your self-defense aspect of the charges, but as far as the illegal firearm, yeah, that would be a different lawyer, and we wouldn't be covering that. So we would cover the act of self-defense, because you can use whatever at your disposal, but because you use an illegal item in the act, whatever comes with that, we would not be covering that portion.
How about self-defense in a gun-free zone?
We would cover the self-defense, but if you're brought up on charges of using a gun in a gun-free zone, that's a separate charge.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about those. I'm just worried about the self-defense. That's going to carry the big penalty.
Right. Yeah, the gun-free zone stuff should most areas be like a misdemeanor for the most part.
Yeah, I know that there's some other companies that don't cover that if you use a quote unquote illegal weapon or use a weapon in a gun-free zone.
Right. Yeah, I may get my hand slapped, but I'm 99% certain we're covering it. We're covering the act of self-defense, because we are firm believers in everybody's constitutional right to defend yourself by any means necessary. Being in a certain place or at a certain time should not be a stipulation being able to defend yourself.
That's really good. That's really good. I've talked to Perry a lot about Second Amendment and stuff, and his values and mine line up. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go with the right to bear.
Yeah.
And this is not a commercial. I'm not being paid. It's just who I actually trust.
Yeah, that's so I started working for them so I actually met Frank. Our flights got screwed up going to SHOT Show last year, so I met him by accident. We ended up driving to Vegas from Phoenix, Arizona, because that was the closest we could get to Vegas. Rented a car and drove there, so I got to know Frank pretty intimately for 5 hours. This random dude I'm driving to SHOT Show, and I got to know them, and like you said, their values and who they were. I had zero idea that he was the owner of the freaking company. I was just talking to some cool guy at the airport. And
so what is your college background and just professional background prior to this?
Yeah. So my college background, as far as like a degree, is in business and business marketing. My professional background is I've been a competitive shooter and shooting instructor for the past 7 years now. So I was running the training division at Palmetto State Armory for the past 6 to 8 months, and now kind of moved more into the affiliate marketing role. Prior to being fully in the gun world, I was actually a project manager for a construction company. So just kind of took that kind of logistics and management style and just brought it over to the gun world.
Oh, cool.
All right. So basically, this is not insurance. I'm just answering the questions here.
Yeah.
It is an association. You do get a lawyer, a local lawyer. So they don't fly anyone in. So no one has to be sworn into the bar from your state and fly in from another state to represent you. G23 wants to know, let's say you get hit with the SBR, that would be two different case numbers because one's federal, one's local. But for let's say Alan Coley, for example, is a local guy here. He got charged with under the same case with discharging a firearm in a shopping center and self-defense. He won the self-defense but lost the discharging of the firearm.
That's crazy.
So, but here's the question, and I didn't even think about this. How would you separate those charges if you're not going to defend like the gun-free zone charge? Because those are going to be local and those are probably going to be filed on the same case.
Right. I will chalk that up to one of the ones where I put in the category of I don't have a definitive answer, so I need to find that answer and get it back to the asker. Just say I don't want to put out incorrect information on that. So that's one question I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, I don't have a clean enough answer to put it into the world.
Yeah. Okay. If you have multiple companies coverage, would you work together as a legal team, or would you have to choose, or would he have to choose you to represent? Let's say you have two different companies that you have coverage through. which I actually do.
Right. Yeah, I know several who have double coverage. I would say I don't believe we've had this happen, so I'm going with a theoretical here. I would say that Frank and Perry would be okay with working with any of the other companies because we do have relationships, like we know them personally, the people who run the other companies. Uh, I would say if we needed to work together to defend somebody, we'd figure it out. But regardless, Right to Bear would be there to cover you, no matter if the other company decided not to want to work with us.
There was another question up here. And so like I want to get all the questions out from the audience.
Mhm.
I don't want to hold anything back. Because I want them to get the honest scoop and everything. So I'm all about finding the truth. Actually, I think Rich and I had this conversation today about finding the truth. Have you guys ever dropped anyone? Like someone did something and you guys said, "Oh, we're not going to defend them."
Nope, that's not our motto. If we put it in our contract that what you're paying for is legal coverage, if you defend yourself legally, we're going to cover you. That's what we're going to do.
I know that's a worry for some people.
It's definitely become a more valid worry with some of the industry mess that's going on.
Yeah, it's a legitimate worry too. So that's why I wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know the answer.
No, what we're striving to do is truly offer a true peace of mind. So if you purchase a policy with Right to Bear, you should be able to sleep easy. You should be able to carry your firearm easy, or be comfortable with the thought that if I absolutely have to defend myself, I don't have to worry about the legal ramifications. I know I've got Right to Bear, and I know they're going to cover me.
You said if you defend yourself illegally, not a gun tuber is asking for a little bit more of a clarification on that.
Yeah, so if it's a true act of self-defense and it wasn't premeditated, it wasn't, let's say like the young lady who somebody said, oh, well, they reloaded. Well, if you have the time to go and reload and dump more bullets into the body, that's probably not self-defense at that point. Yeah, if it's a true act of self-defense and then we can determine that was self-defense, we're covering that. If it was a premeditated act, if it was truly a crime, and it's trying to be covered as self-defense, no.
He wants to know who and when is that determined?
Yeah, good question. So our legal team would come in for that. So if it smells like self-defense, it looks like self-defense, our legal team's there to cover it. Of course, we're going to have to speak with the person at length, whether you're sitting in a cell or sitting at home. Our legal team would be the ones to tell us whether, yeah, it's self-defense. It looks a little muddy, but it's self-defense. We're good. Or if the legal team comes back and says, we don't think that's self-defense.
Now, has that happened? Is that a thing?
What's that? Legal teams?
Is it like, holy cow, this is not self-defense. We're not defending that.
Well, I think to be fair here,
mm-hmm.
I think every company out there has that clause in there.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I know the USCCA.
Because I mean, you don't get a license to kill. That's ridiculous.
But it's not an insurance company that's making that call. It's the legal team.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we are the brains behind the company. Right. I'm a gun guy. I'm a trainer, quote unquote influencer on gun stuff on Instagram, etc. So they call me the gun expert, right, of our company. Frank and Perry, they're businessmen. His accent, USCCA got hit over.
Yeah, well, USCCA, it was the insurance company that made that decision. The legal team wanted to continue to defend it.
Right. So that was a business call on their side and not a legal call. So on our side, we are following our lawyer's legal advice, in which I can say that we've covered all of our cases. Mm-hmm. There's few who they didn't have coverage and they tried to come and have us cover them after the fact, which I'm sorry, we can't cover you after the fact. Now we are happy to give you the phone number of, hey, here's who we use in your area. These are great people to out to. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, but we did just take on a case who wasn't covered by us, but something happened where they needed coverage, and we said, you know what? they're going to do the right thing. We're going to step in and take care of them. But back to that initial question, no, if it can be determined by our legal team that that is not self-defense, it's not covered. But I sleep well at night thinking and knowing that the vast majority of our members are stand-up citizens, that you're only carrying a gun for true self-defense of yourself or others, and you're only going to pull that gun if you actually need to defend yourself. And it's not, you're not walking around with ill intentions just to shoot somebody because you believe you have a lawyer in your pocket.
All right. But your coverage would be for self-defense. So let's say someone has a gun that certain states require like P80s in the sample to have serial numbers.
Yeah.
And you're in one of those states that requires a serial number, and you defend yourself using that P80 that you didn't properly have serial numbered under the state law, which I think is dumb. But
right.
I'm not saying it's dumb to not serialize. I'm saying it's dumb that they have those laws that you have to serialize it. So this is not Right to Bear is not an insurance company.
Right.
Just put that out there. But what I'm saying is, if that person that uses the P80 to defend themselves, you would still defend them?
Yeah, if they use it in self-defense.
Okay.
Themselves. Yeah.
Just wanted to clear that out. And so your chief counsel is located in Colorado, and you have a network of attorneys.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys like pay those attorneys like on a referral basis, or is it do you retain them, or you just pay them whenever you have a case?
So we have some on retainer, and then others are just paid per the case.
Okay.
Like our chief counsel, she's on retainer. So basically all cases we can call on her to give more legal advice if it's needed.
All right, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. That makes perfect sense. Just wanted to clear all that up.
Oh yeah. It would get I think our membership fees would skyrocket if we had to keep all of the attorneys on retainer all the time.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So how involved is the chief legal counsel?
I'd say very. So the vast majority of the cases are going to be reviewed by her, or if there's any sort of muddy waters or questions that rise, Frank and Perry are going to give her a ring, or our other attorneys would just reach out to her directly. They're all pretty tied in together.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
So plug this in.
Oh, we never got to what did you do before you came to Right to Bear?
Sorry, I need to plug this bad boy in.
Take your time.
Oh, good.
Is that a silencer shop shirt?
Yeah, I forgot I even had it on. I was doing a little half workout earlier, and this shirt's a little tight, so it makes me look nice when I'm working out.
You're trying to get dressed up for
But
so you've been in the firearms industry for a while.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You've been in the firearms industry for a while.
So I've been a gun owner for right at a decade now. For my personal firearms, I had access to firearms as like a teenager, just going and shooting with friends and family, etc. But actually in the gun industry, for about 10 years, I've been teaching for 7 or so, and working full time in the gun industry only for the past 2 years. So I was in the gun industry for past 6 or 7, but for 5 of them, I was working as a construction project manager while also teaching around the country. So it was a nice balancing act, a little more stability now.
Yeah, I bet it is. So how much hands-on does the JGE guys have?
With
all Frank and Perry making the decisions, and they're the money man.
So JJE is pretty good about letting their different companies who are under the JJE umbrella work pretty autonomously. So Frank and Perry pretty much make 99% of the calls. The other calls that have to get made typically have to do with the money side of things, like how much can we put towards this or towards that. But as far as how the companies run, the coverages, the cases, that's a Right to Bear, and that's Frank and Perry.
Yeah, I like Perry.
Oh yeah, solid guy.
Yeah, I haven't met Frank. I only met Perry.
You didn't meet Frank at the booth?
No, he was with Bill from Washington Gun Law.
Oh yeah, yeah. Were they filming that day when you came by?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Bill's a good guy.
Oh yeah, Bill's funny, man. I enjoy talking with him there. I've seen him all the time on our page and whatnot, but I'd never met him in person. He's a
He's the guy that talked me into going with Right to Bear.
Oh well, that's even better.
Did Bill almost say my favorite catchphrase?
What?
What's that?
Never mind.
Don't listen to Rich.
Don't listen to me. I'll tell you after the show.
He's been down with the flu for like the last week. That's why I set the show up today, because Rich usually deals with the booking and the thumbnail making and the contacts, but he's been sick with the flu. So
yeah, it's going around.
Yeah, SHOT Show wiped me out.
I didn't get sick this time.
Me too. I was lucky. Last year, my fever hit like 106 before I was able to get home.
Man. All right, so that's the worst. Like, I spent the last 24 hours in Vegas in bed and didn't eat. I didn't want to eat. I didn't eat. And now you're like, I got to spend the whole day flying. It's like, oh,
yep.
Man.
Last year, mine was Wednesday. I wasn't feeling too good, but I was still able to go out with the friends and whatnot. And Thursday, around like 4 o'clock, I went back to the hotel and just got into bed, and I was dead until probably 11. I think I walked to the Walgreens that's in the Venetian, got some water and got some meds, and got on the plane that morning. And I took my temperature in the airport. I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be in the hospital last night, not in the Venetian.
Yeah, I mean that's hard. Last year, I had pneumonia after I got back, and I was like laid up forever.
Yeah, it's just the amount of people you see and the amount of stuff you touch. I mean, it's almost inevitable.
I brought hand sanitizer, and I hand sanitize like probably 100 times a day.
Yeah, my hands are pretty ashy from how often I was sanitizing and washing.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It's the low humidity that is really a problem. Between not only like body health wise, that your hydration is low, but also your nasal passages are, when they're dry, they're a better attack vector for illness.
Oh, that's new for me.
Dr. Rich, virologist Rich.
Yeah, I realize all the things I knew and did wrong, knowingly.
Yeah, I think going to the oxygen bar last year is what did.
I think that nearly killed you. Yes.
We went to an oxygen bar.
The water jet massage was okay. That was good.
Massage with money.
Have you ever done that? That is like pretty cool.
No, I've never done
it. So basically, they put you in a Ziploc bag and they have a pressure washer that runs up and down your back.
It sounds, minus the Ziploc bag part, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I have a thing with being locked into items, so I don't know if I'd be one to get zipped into a baggie.
You're not really zipped into a baggie. It's just that there's plastic on top of you and plastic on the bottom of you.
Is your head at least out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If they zip my whole body in there, I'm freaking out.
No, your head is out. Your head is out. It's just your body.
Yeah, they zip me up in there like a coffin. No, thank you.
And they use water pressure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see how that would be nice.
It's like having a really good deep tissue massage.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, and Crump was with me. Who left every party early?
Yeah, I was out of there by 11:30 each night.
Oh no, I didn't last that long.
Oh no, not that long.
No.
Hey.
You got a dog too?
I've got two of them in here.
You usually left before I did, Rich.
I what?
Left everything before I did.
Yeah.
Rich is like, I'm out, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I walked 15.6 miles my first day at SHOT. I was hoofing it.
So my wife would give me this, like, you're going on vacation again? I'm like, it's not a vacation. She's like, well, I'm going. I'm like, fine, Earl, get a nice room. You could go to, spas or this or shows or whatever. It's like, no, I want to go to SHOT Show with you. I'm like, you don't want to go to SHOT Show with me, but I'll get you in if you want to go. and then finally, I think she got with the program. She's like, yeah, it's great seeing people, hanging out with people, people that you don't see often, that you maybe see once a year or something. That's a lot of fun.
I can
But
see my video calls. What I say.
it's a heck of a lot of work. It's
It is.
being on your feet and moving around all day long. Your feet, your back, everything hurts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I average 12 miles a day.
What was that?
I average 12 miles a day.
Yeah, my first day was 15. My second day was only like 8, and then by the third day I was just cooked. So I think I only walked 4, and I pretty much stayed at the booth. But yeah, my first day was kind of dragging Perry around with me to meet everybody that I know, and vice versa. So it was fun. It was great connecting with a lot of new people and old faces as well. But yeah, when people say they really want to go to SHOT, I'm like, yeah, it's fun to go maybe your first time, and then I'd like to take a 2-year break and then go back.
Right? Yeah, I'm just trying to look up on my health monitor if it has my. I didn't look up how many steps or distance that I walked, but yeah, you walk a stupid amount.
Yeah, I did about.
Especially when. So the other thing that, all right, Johnny 3 Bar says, did I have pilot's insurance? All right, so for my first plane crash, I had hull insurance, and so that was like both liability and insurance on the plane. So I actually made $40,000 because I paid 20 for the plane, had insured for 60. So, and the second I just had liability.
Yeah, Rich got in a car accident with his plane. And I'm not even joking. He did.
Yeah, actually, since I've gotten my pilot's license, I haven't had a car accident unless you count that one.
He hit a car with his plane. Like crashed his plane into a car.
You hit a car with a plane.
Yeah. He was in the left lane. I was trying to land in the right lane.
Where were you landing?
In the road.
Or you're a crash landing?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give you a pass for that. Now, obviously, something went wrong. You made it safe. You hit. What was it? One car though? Just one?
Yeah, one car.
And they made it out safely. Oh, dude, that's a win. That's a win. I have to fly Thursday, and I've got my neighbor's an American Airlines flight attendant, and one of my friends who came by to walk her dog early, and she's American Airlines, and they're all so skittish right now with the flights that have gone down. Those 2 flights back to back. So
yeah, statistically, that's
very,
not a
very
factor.
far between. I think it was just how close together.
Sure.
It was just
well, that air ambulance issue, that was probably some sort of mechanical failure. Twin jets, I believe it was a turbofan. I think it was a Lair 55. Those things are like ridiculously reliable. There's a couple of scenarios, and I hate conjecturing on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
If it was a pilot error and somehow he selected an empty tank, but that did not look like the situation because it sounded like it went down under power.
Yeah, well, it went down like less than a minute after it took off.
Yeah, so it also, it looked like it was on fire going down. So that was kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's a rough way to go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really so. There's yeah, the airplane that went down at National, that was kind of near me.
Yeah, Crumpy's in that.
I flew into coming back from SHOT.
Oh, what did you fly international?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the not the pilots, the flight attendants who were on the plane. Yeah, my neighbor, she knew them personally, so she's
shoot.
Yeah, she's been little rough under the.
Yeah, that's a lot of hurt. That's close to home then.
I'm not going to name the YouTuber, but there's a YouTuber that was friends with the pilot of the American Airlines jet.
Ouch. Yeah, I mean, all of them have family and friends, and so there's lots of folks who aren't in best spirits right now for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yep.
Unfortunately, stuff like that happens. but it's still safer than driving in a car. Unless
Yeah,
you're flying with Rich,
basically.
and you might want to take your chance in the car. Yeah, Rich actually crashed the stock market by crashing his plane.
On the first plane crash.
He crashed the
That
stock
was in New York.
You did what?
So I was coming into Atlantic at Iceland MacArthur Airport, and this was after 9/11. So word of a plane crash in New York dipped the stock market.
So you're responsible for a stock market crash?
Yeah,
Minor dip in the day, I guess.
at that time too.
Wow.
You want to go flying with them?
So this is what I tell people. I'm like, would you fly with somebody that doesn't have a 2 for 2 walking away from a crash reputation? I mean, you don't know. The pilot might flip the heck out, and
Did you really walk away from both of them?
Well, I limped from the first one.
It's a form of walking. I don't think I'd want to be on the third though, just to find. I don't think I want to go for the third try.
Kirk24 says, "What's the chances of 3 crash landings?"
That's what the guy used to say when I had only one. What's the chance of having 2?
Yeah.
I knew a guy that had 5.
I'd stop flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was a badass.
I do want to bring up something before we go. We're going to start going to Rumble only.
Woohoo!
So the 100 people over on Twitter or whatnot, and the YouTube people and the Twitch people on March 2nd, we're going to start going Rumble only, so we can do more gun stuff, show guns and stuff like that. The YouTube Rumble X. Well, we might go to X too. We probably still will go to X, and we'll go to Twitch until they ban me. But YouTube we're dropping.
Or completely not even going to play it the day later.
We'll play it the day later.
Okay, so not live on YouTube then.
But not live on YouTube. But we'll still be live everywhere else.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Then I can't get us thrown off anymore.
Yeah. I've had a total of 3 strikes, luckily within not 90 days. And Dark's had a total of 3 strikes, luckily not with 90 days. And all our strikes have been actually Rich.
It's always me.
Mm-hmm.
Like holding up a part of a gun. It's like, oh, look at this. Last time I held up a magazine. I didn't know a magazine was going to do it.
They just dislike you guys for some reason.
Yeah, I was showing some, like, I held up a magazine like this. I'm like, and here's the laser art on and that was it.
They're going to ban you now for holding up that pamphlet, talking about it being a magazine.
You want to ban me for this? I'll take it.
I wouldn't put it past them.
He crashes streams too with strikes. That's why I call him Crashing Rich. But yeah, we're gonna be going on Rumble only. We might be working on something specifically with Rumble, but you have to find out what that is.
Cool.
Very nice. Tune in wherever you guys are.
Yeah.
So are you going to be at the gathering?
I'm going to do my best to be there this year. The past 2 years, there's been state championships on that day that I've opted to go to instead.
Okay.
But this year, I'm going to do my best to be at the gathering.
And what do you shoot? What do you compete in?
Typically USPSA, so it's the United States Practice Shooting Association, mostly pistol.
Do you know KB32, Coda Boy 32?
I don't know him personally, but I'm aware of him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen some of his video shooting. Yeah, it's the sport's definitely growing very quickly. I think USPSA probably has 40 or 50,000 members now across the United States. So it
looks like a lot of fun. It's a lot of commitment getting out to all the events. So
it is. Yeah, I run a match in Columbia now once a month, first Saturday of every month.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so it makes it a little easier to compete and trying to put on a very technically sound match. So people can get some true practice and they have a little more understanding of where they stand before they go to some of the bigger like championship matches. Some of the local matches they're fun, but they're a little too easy for some of the guys who really need a good tune-up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's USPCA, and there's another up and coming organization someone was telling me about.
PCSO.
PCSO.
Yeah, it's more like it's more of a two-gun type.
That's what they're saying. That's why they were saying that they like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a few of them. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do put on the matches just because of the way the range is currently set up, but I'm definitely gonna go shoot some of them.
Yeah, they were saying that like you get different. It's like each match of the USPCA is like all like very very standardized.
It might be IDPA that you're thinking of.
Maybe
IDPA is decently standardized. USPSA is more of IDPA. Excuse me if anybody who shoots IDPA. I mean no offense, but IDPA is more like go-karts, and USPSA is NASCAR. And then you've got PCSL. That's kind of doing two different things together.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They're just like they like it because every match they shoot is a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Instead of having everything that's totally standardized.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Now, I would think they're probably referring to IDPA. They do a lot of standard courses of fire, whereas USPSA is typically you never shoot the same stages twice unless it's a classifier.
I gotcha. All right, we've been on for over an hour. I want to thank you so much for coming on, Trevon.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to come back on, let me know, and we'll get you back on. Rich is also copied on the email that I sent you earlier.
Awesome.
So he is the one that does the scheduling. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, because I heard some rumors about some type of partnership or something going down over there.
Partnership?
Yeah.
With who?
I don't know.
Otherwise, he'd be starting a rumor if he named them.
I heard that you guys are going to team up with another organization or something like that.
You talking about Right to Bear? Or
yeah. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, I don't know. I'm not really. I would say I'm not at liberty to say, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's true. That's why I didn't really ask about it, because I don't have it confirmed or anything like that. But if anything like that comes up and you want to discuss it or let anyone know, then you're more than welcome to come back on.
Absolutely.
All right,
I appreciate it.
We're going to end the show here, and once we end stream, we got to end the Rumble separately.
So we can't talk bad about anything yet?